we see that actions have been considered as voluntary. So despite the fact that these actions appear to be voluntary, still there are some questions. The questions like, do humans always act rationally? Are they indeed free and unregulated? How is order possible in an unregulated and competitive system? So in the light of these three questions, we see that the voluntarism, as it was conceptualized, the subjective decision-making process of the individual actors. So one might say that action is really voluntary, but is it really voluntary? It has all kinds of constraints around it. Such decisions are partial outcome of the certain constraints, normative and situational. So these constraints, constraints means the limitations. So limitations might come from the culture of the society, or from the situation in which that action has to take place, or maybe combination of both these factors. So basic elements involved in voluntaristic action are number one, actors or individual persons. Number two, actors are viewed as goal seeking. Now actors are not something sleepy kind of individuals, they are action, they are taking action. When they are taking action, it implies that that action is disposed towards some goals. It has to be for the gratification of the goals. So actors, thirdly, actors possess alternative means to achieve the goals. So in an ongoing system of the society, there might be different options for the achievement of certain goals, different means for reaching those goals. So that's the third one. The fourth one is the actors are confronted with a variety of situational conditions. Well, these situational conditions might be the biological makeup of the person, the heredity, as well as external ecological constraints, which could influence the selection of goals and the means. So biological makeup might be simply starting with being a male or a female, then might be the age factor, then other things with respect to the height of an individual, and many other things which are part of the biological system or organism. Then we look into the circumstances, the ecological, the environment. So what is in the environment where the person has to act for the achievement of those goals? So these ecological factors might put all kinds of constraints. So the ecology might be with respect to the availability of the resources. Ecology is composed of, let's say, physical environment. It could be a social environment, and both could be the factors which can influence the action of an individual for the achievement of the goals. Fifthly, actors are governed by the values, the norms, and other ideas, such that these ideas influence what is considered a goal and what means are selected to achieve it. When we talk about the let's say values and norms, here we are talking about the cultural system. Now this action has to take place with let's say, given the circumstances which are governed by the culture of the society, and culture means the values of the society, the expectations of the other members of the society, the something which is let's say approved by the norms of the society, by the rules of the society, something which is desirable in the society, and all these, even the goals are let's say approved by the society. So we see that the goals as well as the means which a person is expected to utilize, these are approved, determined by the society. So the action of an individual is not that voluntary, it's governed by the norms of the society. Though it appears voluntary, but certainly it has the constraints, and these constraints are again internalized by the individual through the process of socialization. And sixthly, the action involves actors making subjective decision about the means to achieve the goals, all of which are constrained by ideas and situational conditions. When we talk about action of the individual, then it might be subjective decision, but when we say subjective, it might be considered as a voluntary decision, but it is not that way subjective. It is governed by the norms, it is constrained, it's regulated by the norms of the society, as well as the ecological factors, as well as the conditions or the situations in which that action has to take place for the achievement of the goals.